Before the trials, before the battles, before the verse of Quran that would be revealed in his name, there was just a boy. A boy named Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas al-Zuhri, from the Banu Zuhra clan of Quraysh. Not the most powerful clan in Makkah, but noble, respected, a family that carried itself with quiet dignity in a city where dignity was everything. Sa'd was the youngest of 17 siblings. He grew up slender, sharp-eyed, with hands that were already learning the craft of archery, a skill that would one day make him the greatest archer in the history of Islam. But in these early years, he was simply a young man who loved his mother with the kind of devotion that Makkah cultivated in its sons. She was Hamna bint Sufyan, strong, intelligent, proud of her lineage, and completely devoted to the old ways of her people. To her, the idols of the Kaaba were not superstition. They were the religion of her fathers and her grandfather's fathers before them. They were home. He had been spending time near Abu Bakr radiyallahu an, who was already Muslim, and through him he was brought to the Prophet Muhammad. When Sa'd sat before the Prophet and heard him speak something crystallized, later in his life, Sa'd would describe that moment as the moment he felt the ground become solid under his feet for the first time. He accepted Islam quietly, privately, with no witnesses other than the Prophet himself. He went home that night carrying a secret that was also a certainty. He had found something he could not unfind. And he had not yet told his mother. The early Muslims prayed in secret. They gathered in valleys on the outskirts of Makkah, away from the eyes of Quraysh, finding whatever hidden ground they could to stand before Allah together. Islam had no masjid yet, no call to prayer, no public declaration of any kind. One afternoon, Sa'd was among a small group, praying in one of these valleys, when a group of Makkan pagans found them. What began as confrontation quickly turned physical. The Muslims were outnumbered, unprotected, in the open. Sa'd looked around him. He had no sword. Swords were not yet part of this story. What he had was a camel's jawbone, lying on the ground nearby. He picked it up. He struck one of the attackers with it. Blood was drawn. It was the first blood ever shed in the defense of Islam, and it came from the hand of a 17-year-old boy with a camel's bone in a dusty valley outside Makkah, with no one watching except the small group of believers he was standing in front of. There was no celebration after, no proclamation. Sa'd set down the jawbone and went home. But something had been established, not just historically, but inside Sa'd himself. We do not know exactly how Hamna found out. In a city as tight and tribal as Makkah, secrets rarely stayed secrets for long. What we know is what happened when she did find out, and it was not the reaction of a woman who was simply disappointed. It was the reaction of a woman who felt she was watching her son walk toward a cliff edge, and who would do anything to pull him back. She came to him. She did not shout. She did not curse the Prophet ﷺ in front of him, at least not immediately. She began with what she knew would reach him fastest, her love for him. She told him what he meant to her. She told him about his father, his lineage, the family he was part of. She reminded him that the religion of his ancestors was not nothing, it was everything their family had stood on for generations. Hamna announced her strike to her son directly, not as a threat designed to frighten, as a statement of what she was willing to do. She said, "I will not eat. I will not drink. I will not stand from this place until you return to the religion of your fathers, or until I die. And if I die, the people will know it was you who killed me. Your name will carry that forever." And Sa'd sat beside her. He fed her gently. He begged her to eat. He told her how much he loved her. She refused. Day 1 passed. Day 2. She grew weaker. Sa'd stayed beside her, not leaving, not abandoning her, not pretending this wasn't destroying him. He watched her suffer. He loved her completely, and he did not break. Day 3. She was visibly failing. The people around him began to look at him differently. "You are killing your mother." On the 3rd day, Sa'd sat beside his mother, looked at her directly, and spoke with complete calm. He said, Ya Ummi, my mother, I love you more than I can say. But listen to me carefully. If you had 100 souls, and each one left your body one by one in front of my eyes, I would not leave this deen. Not for one soul. Not for 100. You are free to eat. You are free not to eat. But I will not be the one who decides that for you. He stood up. He kissed her head. And he walked out. His mother ate. Not because Saad gave in, but because she understood, finally, that he would not. And then something happened that Saad could not have anticipated. Allah revealed a verse of the Quran, about this exact moment, about honouring parents with full love and care, but not obeying them when they call you away from truth. Saad's private test became permanent guidance for every Muslim who would ever face the same impossible tension.